not over his ex. I'm getting a bad feeling about this. Hi, I'm back after 6 months. Is it 6 months?
Hey. How y'all doing? Why the hell the drummer twins coming to Meek's birthday party?
Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Sanjeev, and if you're new to my channel, make sure to like, share and subscribe to my channel and watch my other videos. So today we will be, or I will be, reading Am I the A-hole stories on Reddit. Since I'm a law student, I was thinking what or how could I practice by myself to, judge people and stuff. So why not start on Reddit, where people post their problems online in order for strangers to decide on them. And if you are a returning viewer, thank you so much for watching my channel and watching my videos, and I appreciate your views. It's very easy to just watch my videos. Just subscribe down below. The button down below, is it down here? I think. Okay. Yeah. So let's get right into the stories.
Bitch, I can't see.
Bitch, snap out of it.
Bitch, I can't fucking see.
So I'm using my iPad to read these stories out to y'all, and I will put a square of the story here beside me so that you guys can read it along with me. So the first story we have is, am I the a-hole for telling my siblings the reason why my parents got divorced? I, 22 male, have 3 other siblings, 18 male, 15 male and 12 female. Our parents are no longer together because my mom's 42 infidelity. She was seeing my best friend's dad. Okay. When my father found out, he kicked her out and she ended up moving with her affair partner and broke 2 marriages. This all broke 2 marriages.
I mean, I don't, and then,
It all happened 6 years ago, and my siblings saw my dad as a bad guy who kicked their mother out. My 15 male and 12 female siblings decided to live with my mom, and dad only had them on weekends. My 18 male sibling stayed with us because he was closer to my dad already, but he didn't know what caused our family to fall apart and also seemed to resent my dad. I visited mom as often as I could and she seemed happy to have me, but I was the only one who knew what happened. My dad never bad-talked my mom and never let my siblings know why they split, even if he had to be seen as the bad guy who kicked her out. And mom never really took any responsibility for what she did to our family. They get along well with Jeff, mom's husband. I did too, but lost a lot of respect for him when he went after my mom. My dad will get married to Rose this October, which is also my late grandma's birthday. And he told my siblings that he wished to have them with him, but they started being so mean to him and basically shamed him for getting married and accused him of cheating because he started dating Rose a long time ago. Even my 18 male sibling did. They really hate Rose because she came into our lives 6 months after my mom was kicked out. So I asked them to stop. My dad isn't confrontational, so he told me to leave it like that. He started accusing Rose of being the reason my parents fell apart, but when I told them that the reason was my mom's infidelity, their faces turned red. Oh wow. And asked me if I was joking, but I said no. They got back to my mom's house and 2 days later they were back asking to stay with my dad full time. Apparently, they confronted her and her husband about what happened. I called my mom to see if everything was okay, but she didn't answer, and I went to her house and she was distant. We didn't talk much about it. Her husband texted me later to call me the a-hole for telling my siblings about my mom's affair, and they seem to hate her now. Boo-hoo. I know it's hard for my mom now because she loves us, but my dad shouldn't be seen as the evil person, and she, as the great flawless parent, plus Rose, shouldn't be seen as a home wrecker where my mom is. Am I the a-hole for letting them know? I feel like most Reddit stories often depend on your moral compass as to, if you think like a certain type of thinking is correct, then obviously if the writer agrees with you, then you're going to say yes or no, depending on what the story is about. But here I think that the writer is not the a-hole for obvious reasons, because it's not the dad's fault, obviously, because the mom cheated, and yeah, the dad deserves to be not hated on. So yeah, I guess the writer is not at fault for putting their mom on, snitching them out. So that's my verdict. I rule the writer as not the a-hole for letting their siblings know.
Ew, this is so cringe. Guilty.
The mom's partner was also an a-hole, because why would you defend yourself as a cheater and a homewrecker? Make it make sense. The sense is not sensing. Anyway, yeah, so not the a-hole. And it looks like the verdict in most of the comments are saying that they are not the a-hole, and I can't find anything that's like, calling them an a-hole. So yeah, it looks like they are not the a-hole. Okay, so the title for the next story is, Am I the a-hole for telling my mom that I won't put my future on pause just because she decided to start over? The tea is piping hot today.
Here's the motherfucking tea.
I, 18 female, am my mom's 41 female, first and oldest child. She and my dad weren't together, and I lived with him from a very young age because she was busy with her career. So while she was around for my younger years, she wasn't as present as she told me she would have liked to be. She has a husband, 38 male. He's a nice guy and he treats her like a queen. So I'm happy she's met him. He and my mom wanted a kid of their own, so they ended up having my little brother earlier this year. I love my brother and I like spending time with him, but I'm very aware that our age gap is not going to make a normal sibling relationship, and it's going to make it a bit unachievable. I was in a dual enrolled college high school student, so I got my associates the same time I got my high school diploma. The college I transferred to has a study abroad program that I got a full ride scholarship to. I'm set to go next year, and I'm seriously so excited. My dad was really happy for me when I told him, and so was my stepdad, but my mom didn't seem all that excited about it. Red flag number 1. I think it's pretty obvious that it's a red flag if someone else is not happy for you, like your friend or like an enemy or something, but when your own family is not happy that you got a full scholarship, run. She told me later that she doesn't think me doing school in another country is a good idea. I thought at first that maybe it was just her worrying about me being alone or something, so I tried to reassure her by telling her my friend was in the same program, so we'll be together. She clarified that her biggest concern was how much time I'd be spending away from home, seeing as how it wouldn't be practical for me to fly back for all the holidays I would have visited if I were to be in the country. She said me going away during my little brother's earliest years was going to make it difficult for the two of us to really know each other the way we would if I were around. I told her that it's not like I'd never come back or anything, but by the time I'm home again, he probably won't even be in school yet. So I'd still be around for his early years. Fair enough. She insisted that it wouldn't be the same. and that I should want to stay here anyway because a good sister wouldn't want to leave her brother. What's going on? I got upset at that and told her that I never asked to be a sister, especially not this far into my life, and that it's not fair of her to want me to put my future on pause, all because she decided she needed to start over again with motherhood. That really upset her, and I didn't feel like arguing anymore, so I just went over to my dad's house, and I've been there ever since. I did tell him what happened, and he said that I should choose what I feel is best for myself, and no choice I make about this would make me a bad older sister or even a bad daughter. That did make me feel a little better about it, but I still feel kinda awful. I love my mom, I love my brother too, but I don't want to throw away this opportunity. Still though, am I the a-hole for what I said to her? I think we all know what's the answer. I think that she is. I think the writer is not the a-hole because obviously to get a full scholarship to go study abroad is such a rare thing to achieve, and that's such a huge thing and a huge opportunity. So why not take it? Like, why would you throw it away like that? And I feel like the mom is trying to take advantage of the sister because she's using the big sister reason to, like, I don't know, trap the sister at home. And considering the mom's history of parenting, it seems as if she's trying to make the sister stay home for like a babysitting purpose. That's suspicious. That's weird.
That's suspicious. That's weird.
My verdict is that she is not the a-hole. She's right for what she decided. Okay, so the next story is that am I the a-hole for telling the new neighbors that they got what they paid for, including being shunned by the neighborhood? I'm getting a bad feeling about this. Where I live, real estate developers have started snatching up family homes, bulldozing them, and building enormous $2 million houses on the plots of land. The houses also stick out horribly in terms of aesthetics. Think single-level brick homes with a 3-level gigantic white and black box in the middle. My home's been in my family for several generations. We have always been known for having a large, beautiful garden. We invited over kids to help with gardening. We gave away so many veggies with whole parties, etc. It's been a neighborhood treasure for years. Until developers snatched up the lot next door, bulldozed, and erected an enormous house that blocked out the light for most of the garden. Many of us tried to fight it with the city, but everything was denied. It was heartbreaking. Our neighborhood has been changed forever. This was a link to my family, and I almost have had to go through a grieving process for it. The new owners moved in and were not welcomed warmly by people in the neighborhood. I avoided them for as long as I could, other than politely waving or nodding. It was a young couple in their early 20s. We finally came face to face, and the woman asked if we could chat. She said that they felt like maybe they'd done something wrong when they moved in, or if they aren't pulling in their trash bins or something, being too loud, etc., because people haven't been very friendly. The guy says that he's surprised considering it felt like a nice and somewhat affluent neighborhood, and given the price, he was expecting friendly neighbors. I asked if they had done any research about the area. They said that they moved from California, so no. I said that maybe there was a mistake. They said they didn't know what I meant, so I asked if they'd ever looked into our backyard. They said yes and said they think the garden is cute. I said, yes, the garden that now has about half less sunlight than before the house was built was a neighborhood treasure. The guy said, well, it's not our fault you built the garden there, is it? I said, well, you guys got what you paid for, $2 million for a house that everyone in the neighborhood hates. I said that I hope it was worth it and wished them a nice day. When I told another neighbor about the exchange, she told me that she does feel bad for them moving without having any idea what they were getting themselves into. Am I the a-hole for telling them they got what they paid for? Okay, so in my opinion, I feel like they shouldn't, I mean, the writer shouldn't be mad at the couple, and also the other people in the neighborhood shouldn't be mad at the couple for moving in, because it's not their fault that they bought a house that's, you know, huge and like blocks out the sunlight and stuff. They just bought a house, like anyone can do that. So I think the writer is an a-hole, like actually, because they're blaming the people who aren't at fault, I guess. Okay, so let's look into the next story. Am I the a-hole for leaving the restaurant before my boyfriend's family arrived after I was told I was going to pay for their meals? I think I know where this is going. I, 29 female, have been dating my boyfriend, 35 male, Ricky, for 5 months. He's divorced but hates the word divorce and goes with the word divorcee instead, since the first one makes it sound like he was dumped when it was actually him who initiated it. Anyways, he always goes on long rants about his exes and says stuff like, I hope you don't have this awful habit my ex has, or hope you like XYZ because my ex didn't, and the list goes on and on. I found a second job recently and he's been having me pay every time we go out. Okay. When I protest, he'd say he's going through a rough patch and is seeing how much help I can offer. Last night, he invited his family to join us for dinner. We got to the restaurant first. He asked me if I brought enough money. I said why, and he told me that he told his parents that I'd pay for their meals. No. I said, why would I? And he went on about his parents going through a rough patch just like him. I said, I'm sorry, this can't be a coincidence. He asked what I meant and I told him that I would not be paying. He insisted, I refused and said no. He then leaned back and said, well, you're here so not much of a choice you have anyway, while laughing like it was funny. I silently got up, took my phone and purse and walked right out. As you should. He was shocked and started shouting after me to stop and wait, but I didn't. I went home and he called me enraged, saying that I did a horrible thing, walking out on him and his parents, while I could have just paid. I told him that their unfortunate financial situation isn't my problem and that I wasn't obligated to pay for their food. If they couldn't pay for their meals, then they should not go out. He got offended and said, and I quote, "You're making money a priority just like my ex did." Okay. Then went on about how disrespectful my attitude was and how I made him look small in front of his parents and forced him to lie about why I wasn't there when they came. Okay. We've been going back and forth about it till now. He's mad and is refusing to speak to me till I apologize. Am I the a-hole? I feel bad because his parents are lovely and I've been doing my very best to keep a good relationship with them. I got my answer when I read the title, and my answer is not the a-hole. The boyfriend is the a-hole. You know, I wonder what the rough patch that he's going through to the point where the girlfriend has to take a second job to pay for them, and he's making her pay for the expenses using the excuse of a rough patch. And if you're in a rough patch, why would you go to a restaurant to eat? And call your parents to invite them to eat and force your wife to pay for 4 meals. Anyway, yeah, he's not. She's the writer is not the a-hole and the boyfriend is not over his ex because he keeps bringing it up. But yeah, not the a-hole. I hope she dumps him. Okay, so our last and final story for the day is, am I the a-hole for asking someone with an invisible disability to move seats? What do they mean by invisible disability? Myself, 28 male, and my partner, 31 female, were recently riding the underground. My partner is 8 months pregnant and looks heavily pregnant too. No one could mistake her for being any different. She's not particularly mobile either now, and we've taken to riding the underground more, even for shorter journeys, just to allow her to rest more frequently when we are out and about. We jumped on the Circle line today, and it was a particularly busy service during the rush hour, with people packed in tightly and standing throughout the aisle. On trips like this, I would look for one of the nearby priority seats reserved near the doors and would ask someone to vacate it to allow my partner to sit down. On all occasions up until now, we have never had a problem. Those who were sat in the seats could see my partner would struggle to stand on a busy train and will give up their seat without hesitation. On this particular day, one of the seats is occupied by an elderly gentleman with a walking stick. He was probably in his mid-80s, and another one by a younger man who was probably in his mid-20s. I make what I think is my best judgment call and ask the younger man if he would give up the seat for my partner. He replies that he has autism and that his disability allows him to use a priority seat too. I do understand that people have less visible disabilities and that under normal circumstances, he should be allowed to use a priority seat. However, I also felt that despite this, it wasn't a physical impairment and he was more capable of standing than my partner, who had been stood up for a long time and really needed to rest at this point. When I tried to explain this to him, he became very defensive and called me an a-hole for not appreciating his needs too. Eventually, others began to overhear what was being said, and someone else voluntarily offered up a normal seat. But the experience left me wondering if I was an a-hole for insisting this person needed a priority seat less than my girlfriend. So, am I an a-hole for asking someone with an non-physical disability to vacate a priority seat for my heavily pregnant partner? Okay. I mean, it makes sense. Why would he ask that? He would ask the person to vacate that seat, but I'm pretty sure autism isn't exactly like a non-physical disability. As in, like, it also sometimes I'm pretty sure it affects you physically. Like, it affects the brain's functions, and by that I mean it affects your balance, how you move, your anxiety, and how you react in a crowded space and stuff like that. But I'm not too sure about it. But yeah, I guess he is the a-hole because he said no multiple times when he is disabled. So I guess the guy should have just left the guy with autism alone because, you know, he said no multiple times. Yeah, and the husband should have, you know, just spent time on looking for another seat, I guess. Well, I guess we've come to the end of our video. Thank you guys so much for staying with me till the end and watching the video, and I might make a part 2 because these are interesting. Comment down below and like the video if you want a part 2. Thank you so much for watching, and I have a lot more stuff coming in line for you guys, and make sure to keep watching, like, share and subscribe to my channel for more content. I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye.